Hi. Um, so, having recently done a podcast on Terminator Genesis, which I consider to be the best of the non-Cameron Terminator films, the latest has now reached cinemas, Terminator Dark Fate, and it's not good. Reviews have been guarded, largely saying that it's the best of the non-Cameron films, but that still doesn't mean much. I would say it isn't even remotely the best of the non-Cameron films. I would say that it's not even in the top, not at the top 2 out of 4. Um, to talk about it at any length means giving away spoilers. So if you're worried about that, then don't watch any more. I'll be circumspect as I can be, but if you want to go in cold, just know it's really not very good. Spoilers from here on. It starts with a flashback to a couple of years after the end of Terminator 2, where John Connor is blown away by another T-800. We then jump forward to the year 2020, and most of the film is set in Mexico, which is a change of pace, and a new Terminator and a new enhanced human drops out of the sky to target someone who is obviously going to be of use to the Resistance in the future. And just as they appear to be cornered, suddenly Sarah Connor appears and acts as secondary protector. And from there, the plot goes into a very dull retread of the first two Terminator movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger comes back halfway through the movie as the Terminator who killed John Connor, who has spent the intervening 20 years living among humans and learning to operate like them and to understand the value of human life. And Sarah is obviously appalled that her son's murderer is still around. She threatens to kill him when the mission is over. And all of this feels just retreading Sarah's plot arc from Terminator 2. The action and chases and the Liquid Terminator are all just recycled from previous movies. There is nothing fresh here at all. It's a very, very bland, dull, machine-tooled, one might say, safe production. Terminator Genesis had the guts to do stuff with the mythology and to upend things and be original and not just retread old ground mindlessly. Even Terminator Salvation was trying to do something fresh, even if it did it incredibly badly. Terminator 3 is a retread of Terminator 2, but it has that great ending. Terminator Dark Fate has nothing. It's all recycled. The new Terminator, the Rev 9, played by Gabriel, is a very boring, poorly written, poorly conceived character. The idea that he is a Terminator that can split in two, that he has a solid endoskeleton but also a liquid form that can operate independently. It looks good on paper and it looks good on film, but the visual effects are often quite poor, and it's just boringly executed. They never give him anything original to do, and Luna is not in any way a threatening presence, and the Terminators, both of them, are very poorly written. There's very poor dialogue all the way through the movie. There are some terrible plot holes, so that a lot of the story makes very little sense. And to be honest, I thought Linda Hamilton's performance was actually quite bad. It could be a function of having to speak truly awful dialogue that seems to have been percolated through half a dozen screenwriters based on the end credits. But she really seems to struggle here. The director is Tim Miller, whose only previous directing credit was Deadpool, and that was very much a script and actor-led production. All the director needed to do was know how to frame the action sequences well and just take his cue from the writing and from Ryan Reynolds. And here the writing isn't there. It doesn't matter that James Cameron was involved in plotting out a new story. It's just recycling the first two movies. And you've got people like Billy Ray, who wrote Captain Phillips. You've got Josh Friedman, who was the showrunner on Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the excellent TV show. And none of them can come up with anything new apart from a Terminator that can split in two. That's it. There is nothing fresher. I can't... It annoys me that the reaction to this movie has been as positively skewed as it has been, because this is a real dog of a movie. There's nothing here that's fresh. Genesis tried, some might say it failed. This doesn't even try. It's the end of the road for the Terminator, and I think, as I said on the podcast, there's nowhere else for them to go other than just to flat out remake the first movie. But based on this, it's just going to be identical to what they've done here. More of the same, and no fresh ideas.